All right, so this is pretty outstanding. That song right there, celebrating its 25th anniversary today. Ava Adore from the Smashing Pumpkins. And joining us on the phone right now, the one, the only William Patrick Corgan Jr. So what's going on in the world of Billy Corgan today?
Well, I got the NWA. We have a big event coming up, wrestling in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, June 3rd and 4th. We're preparing for some shows at the Bottle Rock Festival in about a week or so. Gosh, what else is going on? Big summer tour, World is a Vampire, starting roughly in August. So very, very busy season.
It's when you look back on life and a young Billy Corgan in the early 90s and you're looking ahead to the year 2023, did you think it would turn out the way that it did with, the way the Pumpkins have gone through the years, with you getting involved in wrestling, with you still touring nearly 30 years later? You get into being a musician and you expect certain things, but how did the life path turn out from what you thought was going to happen back in the early 90s to where you are today?
Honestly, it didn't turn out even remotely close to what I thought it was going to be like circa 91. Not even remotely close.
So what was the vision back then what did not happen that you thought would happen?
I think, first of all, I thought when we were successful at doing our own thing, which is, as you know, very hard to do in music, I thought we would, be forever supported and have tremendous opportunities. That turned out not to be the case. I thought the band would hang together better than we did. That turned out not to be the case.
Right.
I never would have imagined in a million years that people would use my own success against me, like a weapon. That was strange. I could go on and on. I mean, it would take an hour for me to list out all the surreal aspects of the way my life turned out.
Right. I mean, but, looking at how it did turn out, are you happy with where things are today?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. I think it's one of those, you could easily talk about the bitter journey, but like a good movie, if it ends on a good note, you'd say, well, then something about that journey was good because you needed to figure something out, and it led to, let's call it a real form of freedom, not a freedom born of other people's expectations.
Right. One thing I want to pick your brain about a little bit is, the new album, and pronunciation on this, it's Atum?
I say Autumn, but
Autumn? Okay.
I'm probably not doing it justice.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the new record, obviously 3 parts to this record, and from what I've read and heard you talk about a little bit, a sequel, if you will, to Melancholy and Machina. Was this in the works from the beginning when you sat down and first wrote Melancholy, or did it kind of progress through the years that, okay, this is a story that still needs to be continued to be told?
It was it just kind of happened in its own weird way. Like, I never envisioned Melancholy would have been a concept record. But Machina in 2000 ended up being really about the band breaking up, which was a weird thing to write about.
Yep.
You're writing about a band breaking up with the band as it's breaking up. That's kind of a strange thing to do. And then when I presented the Awesome concept to my band members 4 or 5 years ago, they were not very enthusiastic about the idea. So in many ways, it took, and I'm saying this jokingly, I don't want to offend anybody, it took a pandemic, for me to kind of go, well, I got nothing better to do than to jump in the deep end of this particular pool. So it's always been kind of, it's just happened when it happened.
Gotcha. It's as you bring up the pandemic, and it when I look back on it, the way it changed my life, I wound up losing a gig because of it. I wound up having a child in the middle of it. It's amazing what it did to people's lives and what it inspired, or how it hurt or helped them. And in this case, it wound up putting together 33 songs of new music from Smashing Pumpkins because you had the time to do so. So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna play the new one off the record, Spellbinding from the Smashing Pumpkins here on 94.1 The Zone.